Hey there guys, so some of you may remember this from a number of months back. It is a toroidal flower. It's created essentially by having the poi rotate around in a corkscrew that goes right around to meet back up with itself. It's something that I did a video on a year ago because I'd been told that somebody had created an anti-spin version of this, and at the time I could not grok for the life of me how an anti-spin version of this could be possible. Last Fall Wildfire, Ted and Charlie actually showed me how it's possible. I was very skeptical then. I've had a lot of time to think about it, and I'm more bought into it now. But two things I'm realizing as a result of it. Our concept of inspin was actually way flawed, and also that it meshes up with these cool Arashi patterns that we've been playing with lately. Let me show you how all this connects together. So first and foremost, the anti-spin version of the toroidal flower. To get there, you start off with the poi rotating forwards, and we already know that we can create a toroidal flower by having it consistently look as though it's turning forwards as we turn around in the circle, right? Okay, so to access the anti-spin variant on this, we are going to let it trace its way down and across in such a way that it's going to be rotating reverse when we come out on the other side. And likewise, the next turn we make, it's going to take it around to rotating forwards, take it around to rotating reverse, take it around to rotating forwards. How's it done? We're actually kind of cheating. It's taking a shortcut across the outside of the torus. As it's rotating like this, it's covering a path on the inside and on the outside, right? If we monkey with the poi head's path such that part of the circle only goes around the outside of the torus, when it rejoins a standard plane, it's now reversed its orientation. So as it's coming down, we're going to bring it down and across 90 degrees to the point where when it comes back up, it's coming back up at us. Likewise, when we're going from reverse to forwards, we wait until that moment when it's going up, and we direct it over towards the next point. And when it drops back down, it now looks as though it's going forward relative to us. Why is this anti-spin? Well, if you think about the poi plane as being like a straight line, and we say for the sake of argument that that straight line then makes it similar to the orientation of a club or a double staff, then our original orientation was to take it around in such a way that we would always have the poi plane pointed the same direction. Whereas if we switch it as we go around the outside, we are doing it in such a way that it appears to rotate in a way that's consistent with the double staff or club conception of anti-spin. That's if we accept that plane orientation as being similar enough to the club or the staff to make that kind of comparison. But here's then the problem that we run into. Our original corkscrew flower, which we've already seen, ties in with this kind of approach, to working our way around the circle, which is that if the orientation is always the same, this is not the double staff convention or club convention for inspin. It's the convention for either an isolation or an extension. The convention for going inspin is like anti-spin in that you wind up with the opposite end pointing towards you at the end, but it now goes around the outside rather than going through the inside in order to get there. Is it possible to do the same thing with the poi? Yes. Does it look particularly dignified? Hell no. It actually looks so bad going from forward to reverse that I prefer to start in reverse. And remember before when we went from reverse to the next point in anti-spin, we went up and over in a way that was really easy and dignified. Well, that's because we were going around the outside. To do the inspin variant, we have to bring it through the inside, which means that as it's coming down through the center towards us, we're going to rotate it around such that when it comes back up and over, it's coming up forwards. When we're going from forwards to reverse, it's ugly. It is going up and around and back down. Yeah? So, this is an inspin toroidal flower, according to this breakdown. Oops. Like I said, not very dignified, but at least it fits all of our requirements. Forwards to reverse always gets me. Okay, so what has this got to do with Arashi style spinning? Well, nothing immediately. When we do these kind of plane shifts, or plane bends that Arashi is so very fond of, our hand normally stays in a single place, right? Well, this weekend I started monkeying around with that because Eric and E6 and I started playing around with the idea of performing these as hybrids. And we eventually got it to the point where we were working with a plane bent triangle with the hand going around in a circle. And what I noticed after playing around with this for a little while was that my hand was creating a similar kind of dynamic to these toroidal flowers, but we were always traveling around the outside surface of that torus. It doesn't look like a torus because we're never going through the middle of it. We're only taking paths around the outside, which is really cool, and it suggests that actually whenever we play around with a plane bend such as this, where we're using cross points in such ways, that in some respects we are working our way around a toroidal or otherwise three-dimensional manifold form. I'm almost positive Alien John has done a lot of work in this department because I remember him talking about this in the past. But yes, just I thought it was fun that these two concepts, which came from completely different places, turned out to be so closely linked. So I thought you guys would be amused by that too. Yeah, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all are having a great week. Peace.